First, we need to ask ourselves, is it even possible to remember everything you read? And the short answer is no. But here's the secret. Trying to remember everything we read should not be the goal in the first place. And we know this because of a man who actually could remember everything. This man's name is Kim Peek, and his story is so crazy that Hollywood made an entire movie about him. Kim Peek was a mega genius and his memory was ridiculous. He was able to memorize a book with such perfect recall that after reading a book one time, he would be able to write it out word for word with every comma and full stop back to front. He memorized so many maps and atlases that he could give you driving directions between any two cities in the world, and the path that he gave you was mentally calculated to be the shortest distance. Now, the reason Kim Peek had such supernatural abilities is because of a very rare medical condition he had called FG syndrome. He was born with macrocephaly, which means he had a larger brain, and he had no corpus callosum, which is basically the bundle of neurons that connect both hemispheres of the brain together. And scientists believe that because he didn't have the normal pattern of neurons, his brain adapted and developed new connections to compensate, which I guess gave him like superhuman memory. Now, I want you to imagine that both you and Kim Peek were about to sit the same exam. Who do you think would do better? And the answer is that it actually depends on the exam. You see, despite his superhuman memory, Kim Peek struggled with reasoning and problem solving, which means that if the exam was at the junior levels of schooling, which often test on the lower levels of learning, which involve a lot of memorization and recall, then Kim Peek would definitely win. But if the exam was at a higher level like university or postgraduate, where the reasoning and problem solving, the higher orders of learning are examined as a higher priority, then you may actually have the edge. Now, for most of you listening, probably using the knowledge you've consumed to reason and problem solve is kind of the whole point of why you're trying to read and remember in the first place. Which basically means that it is not enough to remember everything, which is good because for most people that's not possible anyway. But it is possible to remember everything you need to remember in such a way that we can use that knowledge in the way we need to. And